Welcome back everyone, I'm continuing my explorations in Botany Manor today. The last time we ended off with Chapter 2 and receiving a delivery at the gate. We've received the key for the orchard, and we can now continue exploring the grounds of the manor. But before we start the next chapter, I would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button to join my online community. The orchard can be found through the door to the left of the fountain. We've managed to unlock Chapter 3, Peculiar Petals. We'll need to find all the clues to grow the pixie tears and wolf glove. The first clue we've come across is a nursery rhyme about wolf glove. This little rhyme tells us that the wolf glove tends to grow on mountain peaks and that its flowers can whistle in the wind. There is also a letter on the table, which is from our character to our niece. We are gifting some of our childhood toys and books to our niece for her young child. On the next table we'll find another letter. This one is from Charles Tucker Esquire. He mentions our struggles with growing the ash plume, but we've managed to grow that seed in our previous chapter, so we no longer require the advice in his letter. He mentions visiting soon to help us in the garden and to show us his new book. In the shed we'll find a pamphlet with notes on soil additives. The note mentions that some plants need additional nutrients added to the soil to help them grow. You want to make note of the pot that correlates to the ones we normally use and remember the 97 grams. This will be important for later. Also in the shed we'll find our first seed packet for this chapter. These are the seeds we'll need to grow the pixie tears. Across the path we'll find another collection of clues. First is this book which teaches us about chloroplasts. These are small organelles found in the cells of plants. They basically turn sunlight into sugar which the plant uses to grow. Some plants don't have these and need additional nutrients added to their soil to help them grow because they are unable to make their own food. The book also has pictures to show us what plants look like with or without the chloroplasts. Next there is a wooden storage box which contains some microscope slides. You'll want to inspect all of these until you find the one for pixie tears. This gives us a very important clue, which is that pixie tears do not have chloroplasts and therefore need sugar added to their soil in order for them to grow. I love all the small details in this game. Now we can add some of our clues to our book. First we can add the pot notes, which tells us we will need to add 97 grams of sugar to the pot in order to grow this plant. Then we can add the chloroplasts book and the microscope slides. Further down this same area we will find another table with some letters and a book. The book is an illustrated history of England. It speaks about a period in history when Catholics were being persecuted. Many households in England had started building secret rooms to serve as shelter for Catholic priests. These rooms were called priest holes, and only the owner of the house and the person that built the room would know where it was. The person that designed these rooms was called Nicholas Owen. If I remember correctly, he is also the person that gifted the poem we found in the kitchen. Next to the book we will find a letter from Professor Pennyworth. He has been trying to help us locate the priest hole in our house, but has been unsuccessful up until now. This is an important bit of information which we will need to remember for later. Close to this area we will also find a workstation where we can pot our next plants. And down the path next to this we will find another door leading to a different section of the garden. Here we'll find another book. This one's title is The Heritage Orchard. Down the path we'll find a little outdoor dining area, and here are a few clues to collect. First we'll find a collection of different types of apples. Next you'll find a pamphlet with the title Cider Making and Apple Blending. This contains a list of different types of apples and the amount of sugar each one contains. This part is very important. If you remember, we need to add sugar to help our pixie tears grow, and we know from our different pot sizes that our pot needs 97 grams of sugar. There is another tray of apples, and next to it on the wall we can see a poster with pictures of different apples. This piece of information is very handy. We can now use this image to match the apples found around this area to the ones on the poster, and this will help us identify which apples will need to make up 97 grams of sugar. Now we have all the clues we need to grow our pixie tears. Here is a list of the apples I used to make up the 97 grams of sugar. First I took a cat's head which contains 30 grams of sugar, then I used the Merlin's Mist which has 27 grams of sugar, and for the final apple, I used the knobby russet which has a total of 40 grams of sugar. I placed all of these on the press. Once I had all my apples placed, I made my way back to the workstation to get my next plant potted. Once I had my plant ready, I placed it on the saucer in front of the press, and then cranked the handle to see if I got all the clues right. This will get us our next achievement in the game, which is growing the pixie tears. Now I'm going to grab my new plant to add it to the rest of my collection. One of the achievements is to fill each of the saucers in the flower room with a plant. So I'm aiming to put one of each of my amazing flowers into these spots. I love seeing each of the spots fill up. Now we can head back to the orchard to continue searching for clues. Our next clue is further up the path on the table, containing the rope and hammer. Here you will find a letter from Willie, the builder. He has sent a letter to decline our request for him to repair the roof of the tower. He, like many others in the area, believes the tower is haunted and he does not want to provoke the spirits. Let's add this clue along with the earlier nursery rhyme to our book. These are clues on how to grow the wolf glove. Further up the path we will find the tower referred to in the letter, off to our left. Here you will find the saucer where we will need to place our next plant. We will also find a broken anemometer. There is also a lever to the right which will allow us to move to the higher floors of the tower. We need to find more clues before we can make use of the tower, so let's keep searching. At the top of the path we will find another workstation and a collection of clues. The first clue on the table is a book showing tower wind research. This shows different combinations of open or closed windows on each of the tower floors and the strength or speed of the wind with each combination. The next item we'll find is a pamphlet on the Mountaineer Guide to Alpine Exploration. This gives us the wind speed and pressure of different peaks in the Alps. This is important information we'll need later once we've determined which area our plant grows in. But for now we can add these two new clues to our book. At the end of the terrace you can go through the doors, we don't need a key for these. Unfortunately, the stairs are broken so we can't reach the lower floor. We've managed to collect the keys to the painting room. There is also a letter from Bennett. He informs us that he has reached out to the builder in the hopes that he can repair the stairs to the orangery. We need to keep making our way around the room to the far side where we will find some additional clues. The first is a letter from our friend Natty, who informs us that they have arrived in the Alps. She also writes about a strange flower they had come across whilst they were lost on the mountains. The plant was making a strange whistling sound. The next clue is the envelope the letter had arrived in. The most important part of this envelope is the postage stamp. Take careful note of the image of the ram. We can add the letter and the envelope as clues in our book. But we're still missing one clue, and the most important part: we haven't found a seed packet yet. We will need to search the painting room. Hopefully we can find what we're looking for there. The first item we'll find in this room is a blueprint of the manor. This is not one of the clues we'll need for our plant, but rather part of the priest hole mystery from earlier. You want to take note of the year the blueprint has noted at the top, 1593. Next we will find a letter in the trash next to the fireplace. The letter doesn't say who it is from, but it looks like it's a love poem from a secret admirer. Then you can also view the unfinished painting. You want to make sure you look at all the paintings available for interaction. This is one of our achievement goals. On the desk we will find our next part of important information relating to the priest hole. Here you will find a book with illustrations showing different religious symbols. You want to pay close attention to the one for Catholicism. Next to the book is another letter. This one is from Mrs. Patterson. She is seeking permission to join Mr. Bennet on his trip into town. The kitchen scale needs replacing. Here we have another book. The title for this one is Flower Painting in Watercolor. There are two more items we can interact with in this room. First is a photograph of the research team 1862, and the other is a letter from J.W. Surtees. He has declined our request to do a research project on coastal plants and suggested perhaps we join Professor Montague on his research of the British meadow orchids. Although the letter seems nice enough, it's also a bit insulting that he undermines our importance or place in the research team and suggesting we'd serve more of a domestic role rather than that of a researcher. Now with all the information we have, we can head over to the kitchen where we will uncover the mystery of the priest hole. You will want to go into the pantry. Here you will find the broken kitchen scale mentioned in Mrs. Patterson's letter. You will also find a shelf with our symbol for Catholicism on it. This is where the year 1593 comes into play. You want to take each of the corresponding weights and place them on the scale. So 1, 5, 9, and finally, 3. Once you've placed each one in its correct spot, the shelf will move aside to reveal a secret passage. This will earn us our next achievement, History Sleuth. We can now follow the passage until we reach the priest room. In the room we found a letter from our Blunt thanking us for hiding him in our home. There are no other clues in this room, but there is a duck, so make sure you inspect it. This should hopefully be the third duck you've interacted with, which means we only have 2 more to go. Now we can head up the stairs to see what else we can find down this dark tunnel. It's led us straight to the lower level of the orangery, and here I can see the seed packet we've been looking for. Now we just need to find our final clue, then we can grow the last plant in this chapter. To earn the next achievement, you will need to interact with these planks near the broken stairs. This will repair the staircase and earn you the achievement, Fixer Upper. Next we will find another photo. This one is of the Ladies Mountaineer Club in 1858. Just below that is a wooden case which contains a collection of coins. This is our final clue. You want to inspect each coin until you find the one that has the same symbol of the ram we saw on the envelope earlier. This will give us the location and the name of the mountain where they had found the strange plant. This would be Weisshorn, in Switzerland. In the bin next to the table you will also find a letter. This one is from the Society for Botanical Science, giving information about when they have their monthly meetings. There is another table you can find in the orangery, which has another wooden box filled with collectible coins. These are not important, but you can view each the same as earlier. Another item which can be found on the table is our field trip journal. Now that we have all our clues, we can place the remaining one in its spot in our book. Then we can make our way over to one of our workstations to prepare the next plant. I double-checked the wind speed testing book and pamphlet to see which combination of open and closed windows we're going to need. We're going to have to replicate test 5. I think we're ready to get started. Place your plant, then use the lever to make your way to the first floor. Here we need to open just one of the 2 shutters. Then we can move on to the second floor where the window needs to stay shut. Next up on the 3rd floor we're going to need to open both shutters. Then we can move on to the 4th floor where we will need to open both shutters again. Now we can stand back and watch our beautiful plant grow. This will earn us our next achievement for growing the wolf glove. Now before we head back down we can reach another achievement goal. All you need to do is go up one more floor to complete the Mountaineer achievement. We have another delivery at the gate, so let's make our way down to the ground floor, then grab our plant and head back to the flower room. Now let's make our way back to the gate to see what has been delivered. We've received a letter from our sister to inform us that she has changed the code for the library lock. We'll need to figure it out to access the new area. But for now, I will be ending off here. As always, please leave us a like if you enjoyed this video and don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this. I'll see you next time as we continue exploring the manor.